for a Group B match that really, after it ends, the group will probably still be pretty wide open.
Yeah, it really does depend on how things go tonight. There are certain scenarios, such as Afreeca Red 3-0ing LW Blue, which would lock Misfits into the second seed of the playoffs no matter what happens, right?
Sure.
So could still be first seed, obviously, depending on how things go. But even if they lose 0-3 to Lunatic High, they will still be in that second seed. But that obviously is very unlikely, especially given the teams we have here tonight and the caliber of a team like Luxury Watch Blue.
Hey, but we just saw that exact unlikely thing happen in our last best of five.
I
so
think this is a little more unlikely than that one, Noah.
I would have said the same thing at the beginning of last match. In fact, I did.
No, you said it was more unlikely that match would be won?
I said it was definitely going to be like a one-sided match towards MVP Infinity, which it wasn't.
I really don't see a lot of upside to Afreeca Red here, because if you really think about their strengths, we talk about Atune, but as a very solid DPS player, but he's matched on the other side by Flower, who's known as Nanohana.
Yeah.
Tidal has been decent in that DPS role, but Sabielby's been really good on that Tracer, and it's just about versatility too. When we look at Afreeca Red, they really only play dive comps. They only played dive comps in their first match. Genji, Tracer, Diva, Zarya, Ana, Lucio. But then, even in their second match when they switched it up, they were not. It was a more diverse number of heroes, but they weren't playing as well.
It was still 2-2-2. It was just kind of a different type of 2-2-2.
Yeah, you run Genji McCree, but these guys are so stuck in their hero pools, Doa. I mean, this is a team that almost never plays Reinhardt and almost exclusively plays Diva, Zarya, or Winston. Like, they just don't play with Reinhardt. Their support players only play Ana and Lucio unless they're trying to stall out a point where they'll switch to Mei occasionally.
Right.
But we really haven't seen any Mercy. We haven't seen any Zenyatta from this team. And Luxury Watch Blue has played a staggering number of heroes on the other side. Their versatility is definitely not in question.
Yeah, and I mean, we know that Afreeca Freecs Red are aware that versatility is an issue for their team. I mean, their coach said in their last match that was something they wanted to focus on going into it, and they did show that they were trying at least. But it's like we said in our intro today on the show, trying it right now in the season is not the greatest situation. So while they're maybe moving in the right direction theoretically, they're just not able to put that into proper execution that's going to win them games.
Yeah, and I also think that LW Blue, if we roll back the clock a little bit and look into their first match on this patch, which was against Lunatic High, maybe we can say, okay, Mako was probably overvaluing the Diva a little bit compared to the strength of Zarya currently, but these are things that are much easier to fix match to match, and I think they will, as opposed to Afreeca Red that just, they have this one dimension, we've seen them attempt to break out of it, and when they did, it's either like they're going to be pretty good at diving and you know exactly what they're going to do, or they're going to be mediocre to below average on a different composition that might be more surprising.
We did see little things here and there. Like, we did see Atune have a pretty good performance on Pharah at the end of their attack run in Temple of Anubis. So, there are flashes, I suppose, there. But let's learn a little bit more about these guys.
아프리카 레드가 루나틱을 상대로 비록 스코어는 안 좋게 나왔지만 파이법을 쉽게 알고 있는 것 같아요. 그게 좀 걱정됩니다.
걱정 당연히 되죠. 딜러 라인, 탱커 라인 되게 강력한 것 같아요.
이 LW 블루가 가진 실력, 진짜다. 이런 얘기가 굉장히 많기 때문인데 거의 뭐 완벽을 잘합니다.
양팀 간 트레이서 싸움이 좀 볼만할 것 같아요. 박준 선수는 머리를 쓰면서 진입각이나 딜각을 잘 보는데 종렬이 형은 뭔가 좀 임기응변에 강하고 잘해요. 아춘 선수보다. 머리만 좀만 더 쓰면.
힐러진은 제가 있어서 저희가 더 잘한다 생각하기 때문에.
포터메인 선수가 굉장히 공격적인 루시우라고 들었는데 루시우는 뒤에서 시프트만 키고 WASD만 누르시면 그게 루시우 플레이의 정석이라고 생각하시면 됩니다.
제가 지난번 말씀드렸죠? 루시우는 화물이 딱이야.
일단 루시우도 공격적일 상황이 있어요, 분명히. 잘 쏘면 그게 최고예요. 잘 쏘는 루시우.
루시우로는 뭘 하려고 하면 안 돼요. 시프트만 키고 뒤에 있어. 이러면 막 도발하면서 막.
경기 스코어 3대0. 자신감을 가지고.
3대0. 저희가 더 잘해요.
그래도 에이펙스 왔는데 되게 멋있는 경기 보여드려야 하지 않을까요?
저희가 뭔가 브레이크가 잘 안 되는 것 같아요. 쭉 올라갈 수 있는데 성격이 급해서 좀 더 차분함을 가져야 되지 않을까.
후회 없이 아쉬움 없이 최선을 다하고 싶어요.
좋은 결과만 보여드리도록 하겠습니다.
Oh, there you have it. I didn't expect the battle of Lucio philosophy there. That video. You know which way I kind of lean. I'm more of the aggressive, bloodthirsty bent, but you can certainly make an argument for sitting back there and hitting shift when you need to.
And emoting.
Yeah, emoting. Yep.
You bring the style through the emotes.
I've done that too, man. I've been breakdancing on top of the payload. I mean, you gotta. Sometimes there are just those situations, right? Nothing better to do than breakdance on the payload. But there's Afreeca Freecs Red, a team coming into this league with a lot of hype around them. I know you never bought into it personally, but a lot of people in the scene here were saying
Suckers.
These guys. The thing is there was a lot of evidence too to back up that these guys were going to be a very good team. They were winning a lot in scrims. They have a lot of individual talent behind them. They had done very well in promotions, so I think it was reasonable to expect more than what we've seen from Afreeca Freecs Red. That said, their first loss was a very close best of 0-3. Their second match, a little bit less so, but they are trying to work on some issues, and who knows what we're going to see today.
Well, I hope we see some more mastery of different compositions that aren't Genji Tracer dive comps, because that's what they've got to come up with, because LW Blue, they will be very ready to deal with that. And they are also a team that has in the past been aggressive themselves. They've shown some Genji Tracer this season, even though a lot of the time they've been sitting back on 3 tank with Soldier and Roadhog.
I mean, LW Blue is right up there with Lunatic High for the contest for who's the most aggressive team in the world. These guys are going to dive at you any chance they possibly can get. And they usually do it very well. And I think you raised a good point earlier. When you look at the DPS in Afreeca Red, and then you look at Flower and Saviolvi on Luxury Watch Blue, and it's just a skill mismatchup. I mean, these guys are just better individually, I think.
You go through these teams and you say, how are they going to win? And I think that, if anything, Mako is probably the weak point on LW Blue as a player, but did that come from them over-prioritizing D.Va in their match against Lunatic High, or did it come from his individual play? If he makes a switch up and does well on Zarya today, it could help answer that question.
Perhaps.
But Afreeca Red, they really, on a player-by-player basis, on a stylistic basis, on a strategic basis, they do not appear to hold any advantages over Luxury Watch Blue.
Yeah, you look at things like on the Afreeca Red side, you look at a player like Ty Dollar, who is a Genji main in a Korean scene where I wouldn't even put him in the top 3 Genjis, and he really struggles playing any other hero. That's a big red flag right there for him as a DPS player. And then you look at Flower, who's so versatile. I mean, he put on a monster performance on Hanzo on King's Row last match.
Yeah,
This
absolutely.
guy can play pretty much anything.
And as you look at Afreeca Red, this will be the only team in this tournament that you see that does not have a Reinhardt player as one of their most played heroes.
Very bizarre, yeah. But they like what they do, and they're just gonna keep doing it, I guess. We'll see how it works out.
They certainly have a different style. That style has not led to them winning a map yet, but it's there, I guess.
That's right. Yeah. It is rough. So Luxury Watch Blue, we should mention too, is coming off of a loss themselves. They lost 1-3 to Lunatic High in their last match. They were able to win the first control match, but then lost the next 3 in a row. Although they did take King's Row and Gibraltar to time bank, so it was not a very one-sided 1-3.
No, it wasn't. We'll be Lijiang Tower here as our first control map.
Yep.
Kick things off in our second best of 5 of the night. I'm a bit disappointed. I wanted to see Flower play Farah on Oasis again, because that was quite spectacular when we saw them play against Lunatic High.
Well, I mean, we might get to see him play it on a point like Garden. Certainly a point where we see a lot of Farah. So we will see. Might even see it on Control Center too. Who knows? But right now, I mean, this is a match that, if anything is a must-win here. It's a must-win for Afreeca Freecs Red if they want to have any shot of avoiding relegation, avoiding, maybe even an outside chance of getting into the playoffs. But we'll see. It's going to be crazy. Let's go to Lijiang Tower, C gets an early lead. It's game time.
I get it.
Yes, we got it.
We did it.
Awesome.
We got it. And just to be clear, even if Afreeca Freecs Red win 3-0, there is no chance that they go to the playoffs.
Ah, my bad. Okay.
But it would put LW Blue in relegation and not them.
There you go.
But they have to win 3-0. That's it's gonna be
tough.
an uphill battle for sure.
Yeah. Well, here we are, right off the bat on Garden. We'll see what LW Blue decides to pull out. Right now, Flower sitting on the Genji, but we might see him swap to that Pharah. Meanwhile, on the Afreeca Red side of things, still deciding what they're going to play. It looks like Take This is going to grab the Diva.
And of course, they will not be playing a Reinhardt. So
Yep.
typical from Afreeca Red, although they are going to go with a Soldier, which is something that they have put less of an emphasis on traditionally. And LW Blue going with a dive composition of their own, and they really like to run Luna on the Zenyatta.
Genji battles right off the bat, and Flower's going to win that one. I mean, it's like we were saying, Ty Dollar, he's a good Genji, but he's not one of the top Genjis. There goes the tune. So both DPS out of the way immediately for LW Blue, and looks like they're going to have a really strong position on the point early on as Afreeca Red resets.
One of the things that we really traditionally praise LW Blue on ever since this team formed up with these 6 members at IEM Gyeonggi has been their target selection. And they are so good at communicating on an initial dive, especially when they have Luna on the Zenyatta, can use that Discord Orb to immediately eliminate a target. That time, Ty Dollar goes down very early on, and they make it look easy.
Well, I mean, when you've got that Zenyatta too, it makes it really tough to play something like the Winston and the Zarya because you don't have a lot of ways to prevent the orb from coming in. LW Blue winning this skirmish as well. The tune goes down after Lagerman, and Afreeca Red probably going to have to back up and reset as soon as Sibioli cleans up the point.
Yeah, making it look easy right now. Sabioli mowing everybody down. Luna staying safe on the backside of the fight. And
I mean, Afreeca Red snuck in there and nearly flipped it, but so LW Blue, you know, you could say might want to pay a little bit closer attention to the point, but still an easily won fight to say near about 50 control % right now.
even if it does flip, as long as you take out most of their members, you just turn back and deal with that issue.
Transcendence coming in as the Nano Boost goes on to take this. Afreeca Freecs Red trying to blow their ultimates to take the point back. Ty Dollar solo taken out by Flower and his Dragon Blade. And LW Blue just, again, making this look so simple.
I mean, great work there. Navi decided to...
Insult to injury at the end there. Sibioli decides to toss his Pulse Bomb onto Lagerman.
So right at the start of that fight, we see Afreeca Red attempting to really aggressively jump in onto their opponent by nano boosting, take this as Winston. But as soon as that happened, Luna props Transcendence. You can't get a lot of damage down with that Tesla gun. And then as soon as that's over, they chain it directly into the sound barrier for the team fight win.
All right, Attune throws his own Pulse Bomb out, misses everyone, though. They do get the kill on Nemeko. Not a bad start. Meanwhile, Ty Dollar does get a couple kills himself. Attune takes out a few, so finally, Afreeca Red winning a fight. They're going to take the point and get the control percent building for themselves.
Yeah, did have to use a few ultimates, couple there, but not overly zealous in blowing their entire ult bank early on.
Yeah.
LW Blue may take them a little bit of time here, but fortunately they've got many percent to work with.
Nemeko has to deal with the dive. Sound barrier really early from Afreeca Red, actually. And there's a Graviton Surge as the sound barrier ends. Where's the follow-up? There it is. Quartermain gets a knock-up, actually, onto Sibioli. Must have caught him without his recall. Janus with the Primal Rage just pushing Afreeca Red back. And they haven't flipped the point yet, though.
That could have been so bad for Afreeca Red, but instead, as soon as that comes in, really big props to Quartermain right there for booping the Tracer off the edge. She was so close. Sabioli was very close to getting that Pulse Bomb and maybe being able to jam it in there before the crowd control end, but no damage, no follow-up, and that's just a wasted Graviton now thanks to Quartermain.
Sure. Flower and the rest of LW Blue trying to fight back, and Ty Dollar one of the first to fall. They do lose Mako again, who seems to be dying early in a lot of these fights. Primal Rage, oh boy. It's Super Monkey Ball in the hallway. Take This gets 2 with his Primal Raid, and Afreeca Red managing to hold the point. Yeah, LW Blue just going to reset, but they have to get back there in a hurry.
Xavier will be holding onto his Pulse Bomb, though. Flower will have a blade up for this next fight. Again, they do not have a Nano Boost with this composition, but can keep him alive instead with Transcendence. Here we go.
Yeah, Dragon Blade time. Flower looking for one, gets quarter main immediately. Afreeca Red on the run. Whoa, Flower though takes out Navi. Both supports going down.
All right, you got enough, Doa.
Yeah,
Got both of the
guess so.
supports. They're going to have to back off right now. Loggerman just trying to get up into that Graviton Surge range. Going to fire it around immediately and catch everybody on the pillar, but that's not going to do anything.
Afreeca Red's just not going to get back to the point in time, and that's that. Well, you know what I dream of? I dream of a day when the team named Red is red and the team named Blue is blue, but it looks like today is not the day. Not yet.
Maybe we'll get lucky on the next map, though.
Maybe. We'll see. Afreeca Red, rough start for them.
At least they brought it back. It looked like it may have been snowballing into a pretty decisive LW Blue victory, but they had some nice team fights, were aware of the positioning of the enemy team. They were watching for the Pulse Bomb during that Graviton Surge and stopped the damage coming in from the Tracer, so ends up working out all right.
Well, Afreeca Red now going to try to tie things up here on Night Market. Flower on the Tracer this time. Sabulbi on the Roadhog. So a little bit of swaps. Meanwhile, in Afreeca Red, not really too much changing going on.
They're going to be they're going to be running with the Tracer and the Genji, so going with this dive composition, and they sort of swapped it up this time around. Meanwhile, LW Blue will be running the Tracer for harassment and dueling with the Toon and triple tank there as well. Worth noting, right now, Flower with a pretty big ult advantage from harassing the flanks.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the point does go over to Afreeca Red. In the beginning, LW Blue advancing now. And it looks like they might just back off and let... Oh, they're going in. Okay. We're backing off. Now going back in again to Toon. Very close to the Pulse Bomb, but the first one from Flower already claims 2. What a start for LW Blue. Man, he built that so fast.
And they're playing really well around Janus' shield. The thing is, they don't need to walk in there because they're the only one with a Reinhardt. So as long as nobody's flanking them, they can just stay in that doorway and deal an immense amount of damage from behind the Reinhardt shield, get a pick, and then make the play they need. And that's exactly what they do. Wait for the Pulse Bomb to grab 2.
Hello.
There's a split spot for you, and then advance after that. So patient play, and this is what happens. And Take This is actually going to play Reinhardt, the rarity for Afreeca Red.
Wow. Yeah, well, I think it is time. You needed to at least break back into the middle ground on Night Market anyway.
I think it's very hard to hold that point on Night Market if you don't have a Reinhardt.
Nanoblade time, Ty Dollar. Meanwhile, Nano Boost over onto Mako, and there's the Sound Barrier. Nice sleep dart onto Ty Dollar. They're going to try to protect it, but there's a big Earth Shatter coming in. Atune gets a kill onto Janus with the Pulse Bomb. Meanwhile, Zarya battles before Mako decides to disengage. Quartermain on the point, but he's the only one, and Afreeca Red not going to take the point back this time.
Not at all. LW Blue sticking with it for now. Got a bit dicey there when Janus went down early, but the chain CC enough on the nano-boosted Genji to force a few switches right now. So Tidala will be taking over the reins of the Tracer, and Atune now on that McCree, attempting to shut down the backline threat of that Tracer.
Oh, it's the Graviton Hog. Meanwhile, Flower picks up Loggerman with the Pulse Bomb. Sabulbi looking for another pick. Who barely misses Ty Dollar there. Still, solid defense coming in from LW Blue. They've got the spawn pretty much covered.
I like the switch to McCree from Afreeca Freecs Red if LW Blue was running that Tracer, because if you're only running the Tracer to flank, it's very easy for McCree to hit that flashbang, take her out, and then charge the enemy composition. So Flower's going to switch as well.
Oh. Janus was in a little bit of trouble, but he managed to escape. Nice shield, nice heals. Lagerman jumps in behind, though, drops the Graviton Surge. Doesn't pick up really anybody besides Janus, though. Hey, we're back on Overwatch Apex Season 2, and Afreeca Freecs Red are going to relegations. They're down 0-2 in the series. Things are looking grim, but it looks like they've accepted their fate. This next one just going to kind of be for fun, I guess.
Yeah, that's all you can say at this point. There's still an outside shot. They could come back, of course, reverse sweep, take the victory here.
Sure.
Certainly that would ease the pressure on other teams that have yet to play in this group, but as it stands right now, Misfits' chances of actually making playoffs are decreasing as we speak.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, Misfits players. I know you're watching this right now. You can't hide from the fact that if this next set is won by LW Blue, you must 3-0 Lunatic High if you are going to make it to playoffs.
Monty's not really sorry, though. If you could see his face right now, you can see he's internally laughing. He's gleeful about it, even.
I'm
Don't
pressing
believe it.
the tips of my fingers together.
That's right.
in
That's
evil
right.
joy.
He's
No.
grown like an evil-looking goatee just for this occasion. He's stroking it now as he thinks evil and wicked thoughts. Looks like it's going to be Volskaya Industries for our next map. What do you know?
What do you know?
Hey, look at that. Assault time. LW Blue trying to close out the 3-0. And as our first two maps have told us, they will probably be able to do that. But
It hasn't been the closest of
yeah,
series of Overwatch. It was a nice hold from Afreeca Red, but every time Afreeca Red does something, it seems like LW Blue has the answer coming right back.
yep, that's the expert analysis we keep you around for, Monty. Let's go into Volskaya Industries and see if the 3-0 happens or Afreeca Freecs Red brings it back. It's game time. I get it. Hey, that statue is like pointing at the giant robots over there. It's like, hey, look at that.
I built these.
Giant robots.
Is that a statue of Katya Volskaya?
I don't know. It's a good question. I don't think so, but I guess I'm not sure.
We'll never know. It's just
Have to see it from the front.
a woman in a trench coat pointing with a flag.
Could be a cape.
Looks like a long coat to me.
Yeah, I suppose. Who knows? LW Blue on the defense, and it's time.
Uh-oh. It's
To
time for some
invoke-
styling.
Invoke the spirits of the afterlife. Come to us, oh great Cthulhu, and grant us victory.
They're trying to jump in order. So one of them's jumping. They're like making a snake right now. That's pretty great. A caterpillar.
Yes.
That's what it
Well,
looks like.
I mean, snakes can do that too.
Except
I suppose.
Diva can't crouch, so
Oh.
she's kind of terrible at this.
So you designed this like futuristic robot to fight other bigger robots, and you don't even design it with the ability to crouch?
That's right. They don't believe in teabagging in South Korea, though.
I'm pretty sure you can crouch. Can you not?
You can't crouch as Diva, dude.
I'll believe you, but only because I'm a very generous person. Afreeca Freecs Red going for pretty typical offense. What we've seen a lot. A little bit of dive. A lot of bit of dive. Take this on the Diva. And a tune already around the back, looking for the kill onto maybe one of the supports. We'll see if he gets it.
Yeah, they're going with their most played composition, too. Back to the bread and butter. They're not going to change anything. They're going to try and hope that their experience using this composition can overcome LW Blue on this potentially final map.
Oh, Tune's doing a good job of building up his ultimate. They've got a little bit of the control percent going. Flower with the kill on the quarter main, though, is going to equal probably the end of this push for Afreeca Red. Oh, no.
Wow,
Whoa,
1
what health.
HP. Wow, that was super
Yikes.
close
Yeah.
to another kill in favor of LW Blue. Flower still creeping around on the high ground, getting those shurikens down where he can.
Yeah. Flower survives the assault of Atune and Ty Dollar, which I kind of want to know what his name is all about. Is it Thank You Dollar? Is that what this is supposed to be? I'm not sure. Afreeca Red trying to put people off the high ground. They got Ty Dollar with the nano boost now, going after Luna. Pulls out the Dragon Blade. Should be able to get the kills on the supports here. Yeah, they do. So
Wow,
Afreeca
big
Red, there's a
kills.
fight. Yeah.
Pulsebomb
Man.
also coming through. LW Blue, no chances to proc their ults.
Yes. That was perfect. We need a gif of that stat.
He's
There you
actually doing except he didn't have any shurikens to hold, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, he probably wouldn't have been allowed in the building if he did, so that's okay. Afreeca Red trying to carry some momentum through to point B now. Good was start, though, on Volskaya.
I mean, there was a very narrow window of time there where Afreeca Red had their ults and LW Blue did not, and they exercised it perfectly.
All right, Flower coming in with the Nano Blade now, gets the kill onto Lagerman. A little bit of defensive revenge for LW Blue. You know, there's few things scarier than a team with nothing to lose anymore, because the pressure's off. And, you know, when you're not stressed, suddenly you start to play better because you just don't care. You just take chances and you make plays.
Yeah, can depend on the player for sure.
Yeah.
This time, looks like they have a pretty irreverent, humorous attitude at the booth for Afreeca Red. But unfortunately, that attitude doesn't help the fact that they use their ults on that push and snowballing after that pretty hard.
Yeah.
So we'll start to even out here. A tad LW Blue entrenching themselves for what looks to be a rather lengthy hold here on point B.
About 5:15 left on the clock for Afreeca Red to make something happen.
Yeah, plenty of time, but this is one of those opportunities where it just goes real fast on Assault generally, or goes real slow, but that certainly helps.
Yeah, sound barrier. And they got the kill into Luna, too. There's the self-destruct. Lagerman, meanwhile, coming in from behind. He's got that Graviton Surge in case he wants to use it. And the mech not popped out of there, actually. Ooh, Lagerman survives the self-destruct. That was a close call there. Afreeca Red still on the point. Meanwhile, Ty Dollar with a Nano Blade. Gonna go to work here on the Diva. Goodbye, Mako. And LW Blue is struggling a little bit here as the control percent is building rapidly for Afreeca Freecs Red.
That is. Looks like they may actually be able to take a map here, or at least get these first 2 points.
Maybe.
Winston coming out. The stall is here for LW Blue.
Yeah, that's right. Trying to last as long as they possibly can. 4:30 left on the clock. Great start for Afreeca Red already. Mako low health up on the top. And Flower has that Dragon Blade. If you can maybe kill the supports here, they can push this back.
Luna has the Nano Boost, so here we go.
I think they may
They're just
be
waiting
able to
for
do
it
this,
right now.
All right. Here we go. Nano Boost, though, onto Janus.
Oh, wow. They're actually going to split up the targets.
Right. Sabilby with a kill onto Lagerman, so that pushes over. So they got 1 tick on the control meter when things were all said and done, it looks like. A few members of Afreeca Red still around.
It was actually better than I thought from the push from Afreeca Red when it came in. Didn't think they'd be able to even push them into these stall compositions for quite some time. But
well, Toon and Ty Dollar, that's twice in a row now have done a good job of coming in and eliminating the supports early on, or at least doing enough damage to them to, you know, negate their effect on the fight.
Also, Mako there had a very weird place for the self-destruct. He also, if you didn't notice, had a pulse bomb from a Toon on him, which he had on the outside of his mech, and he flew into Gambler and killed Gambler. So, and then he had a very poor self-destruct. So Mako was actually a large reason why Afreeca was successful. Tidal going to come in, try and get that last few percentage up to his Dragon Blade.
Ooh, Sneaky Ninja not working out for Ty Dollar that time, and Afreeca Red pops a sound barrier to come in and try to make something else, but they've already lost quarter main as well, so this push is all but done. Sabilby, yeah, he's going to be able to get Navi pretty soon. There we go. Oh, and a celebratory self-destruct. Not sure if that was necessary.
That was a bit interesting.
Yeah.
Not sure I would have made that choice if I was take this.
I'm not sure what he really wanted to accomplish with that, but
his accomplishment is going to be trying to get some kills before he switches to Winston, I think.
oh yeah, okay, I see. Yeah, with the switch coming in, that makes a bit more sense.
So pure dive composition, but they're gonna have to find Luna or Gambler very quickly because all the mobility that these DPS heroes have, they are going to be slippery and not the easiest to come by.
Oh, Navi already down as Flower pulls out the Dragon Blade. Lagerman has to make a run for it. Only 80 health left. And no real way to use that ult for any benefit.
Yeah, Nano Blade going to come through. And so Luna and Flower down the ultimates. Opportunity here for Afreeca Red to answer in kind, but Gambler with that sound barrier up. It's well timed.
Yeah.
Should be able to negate a lot of that damage. And now that Mako's self-destruct is back up again, they are buying themselves quite a lot of time here on point B.
Oh, and Winston, they're going to deny Janus on the high ground early on. Lagerman going for the Graviton Surge. If he can get the supports in the back, it might work. Meanwhile, Luna does go down. Ty Dollar got the kill despite the sound barrier. And Afreeca Red with a decent start here with the push. Ooh, did I say decent start? That was before Sabilby got to with his Pulse Bomb and looks like LW Blue is going to bring this one back after all.
Yeah, but they may have another push here. They've got a minute
should.
and a half, and they got both the sound barrier and the self-destruct out, so they could put together a convincing attack. Attune now switching over to the McCree, been all over the place with some of these compositions, wasn't exactly working out to dive those back lines. And I said wants something a little bit longer range, or at least something to disrupt, say, Bielby's Tracer, but he sees that, and he's going to switch over to the Roadhog instantly. I think that's a very good move.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, oh, meanwhile, chance. Okay. Denied again, but I agree. I mean, you want to be able to try to counter the counter, but then sometimes the fan the hammer.
But
gets
say
the kill onto
Bielby
your
gets the
Winston,
pick
man.
onto Ty so it all evens out in the end. The Roadhog switch working nicely.
Toon gets Gambler, but there's the hook, and that's why you make the switch. Bielby on the Roadhog now, and LW Blue should be able to hold strong. Quartermain goes down, and now just 30 seconds left. He grabbed him right as a mech was coming down.
The mech animation
Whoa.
canceled.
Yeah.
So they'll just skip that part of trying to kill the Diva again. And can they get back in time? Attune hopping forward on this McCree. Winston's already there, so they can make one dive into this.
Last chance.
Try and get some damage first. Maybe see if they can get a zoning Deadeye built up.
Yeah, a lot of ults for LW Blue, though. Going to be pretty tough for Afreeca Red.
Mana boost available for Luna.
All right, here we
Hello,
go. Flower,
goodbye.
Navi already down, and yeah, Flower's just going to say nope, no pushes here for Afreeca Freecs Red. This attack run is going to end with just 1 point.
Certainly seems that way. Everybody finally going down. Diva will get desuited. Overtime ticking, and that's going to be it. 1 point taken by Afreeca Red.
And so now, all LW Blue needs to do is just get both points on Volskaya. They will close out this match 3-0. And we'll see if they can pull that off.
Gonna be a trick. Gonna be a trick, I think. And
Even if this does go to the tiebreaker on a control map, though, you gotta give that one to LW Blue at this point.
I think Afreeca Red really needed to have a nice snowball time here, try and win the map based on that time bank.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they weren't gonna find anything. Attune head in his hands. At least Ty looking a little bit more up in spirits.
It's a bummer. It's a bummer for Afreeca Red. I mean, they're a good team. They haven't been able to show it in this tournament because, I would say, of the group they were in. But, you know, again, this team in any other group in the tournament would have been very likely playoff bound.
Well, it's also that the longer this tournament goes on and people figure out that they can only play one composition, it makes them very one-dimensional, right? So even if they're good at playing it, people kind of know what to expect at this
Playoff bound,
stage.
at least, you know. They weren't going to win it, but they were definitely going to avoid relegations in any other group. I think you could be pretty confident in.
In retrospect, I think this is a team that if they were going to win, they had to win in their first match or two, because by the time you get to match 3, their style is so transparent.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. All right. See what Afreeca has on the defense. Looks like Flower maybe bring out the Widowmaker this time.
That's I hope we can see that, though. Certainly viable on point A and Volskaya.
Yeah.
Lots of different approaches you can get onto that high ground, and you can really tailor your sight lines to those open spaces across the point and disrupt the high ground of the enemy without a lot of risk.
Indeed. Here we go. LW Blue. Chance to close it all right here. Gambler just throws out the Sonic Arrow, checking for the cheese. Doesn't see any back on the Lucio.
We're going to see the Widowmaker from Flower. So Afreeca Red, they do not have a Winston, notably, and they only have the Genji to maneuver quickly onto the Widowmaker. Might be somewhat hard for them to deal with it, but everybody stacking up behind the point. You're not going to find much of an opening there for the Widowmaker when both sides are going to drop down and start capping the points. Somebody from Afreeca has to go down there and at some stage.
Ooh, very close to killing Quartermain there.
Very risky to step out right there when you know there's a Widow.
Well, Flower needs to be careful. He's got the biotic grenade on him right now, so Bielby, they'll get the kills, and LW Blue looking like they're going to cruise to a easy point A capture right here. Bye, Attune.
When you hit the high ground like that, and you have the Reinhardt, you really have to make sure that you're going to break that shield first. Widow does not break Reinhardt shields very quickly. But unfortunately, they're not able to do that, and they're forced down onto the low ground very quickly. They can't use the soldier to peer down onto the point. Meanwhile, Sabiolbi was just sort of going ham from above.
Yeah.
Positional advantage significant for LW Blue as a result.
Swaps coming in. Sabiolbi on the Tracer. Flower on the Soldier 76 now.
Yep. No need to stick with those heroes for the second point.
Yep. Red.
It's actually a bit interesting that they abandoned their ult charge on the soldier just so Flower could have it.
I mean, I think they just really didn't want to use the Widowmaker on point B, and you can't really blame him for that.
Well, I mean, Sabiolbi is obviously the better Tracer player on this team, but sometimes maybe for a little bit you'd want to build up that tack visor.
I think it just says they really want to end it right here, you know? So they're just going to use whatever they feel the most confident with.
And certainly back to comfort picks as opposed to playing around ult charge. It's just a decision that we don't see a lot of teams making.
Yeah. Okay, waiting for them to go in, and Sabiolbi's going to flank from the outside. Oh, you can actually walk around on that?
I didn't know you could walk on that either.
What? Really? All right, I know you can blink across it, but
he's just playing the tightrope walker right now.
No kidding, right? All right, Ty Dollar defending. So yeah, Sabiolbi does get the kill into Lagerman, but they're going to have to back away and reset here.
Yeah, they didn't actually have the Tracer for a lot of that fight because they were assuming that they were going to be able to go in and make the flank across the back with the Tracer, but instead, Afreeca Red took the fight to them, found themselves in a 6v5, and paid for it. So nicely done by Afreeca. Tidal picks up some crucial kills, and they're still behind in the ult game because some of these hero swaps and losing that last fight.
I want to see him walk across that thing again.
They're set up the same attack that we saw previously.
Look at that.
It's not seen. Does not have pulse bomb.
All right.
They're going to wait for this all in. Wow, this is a high ground flank. This is a very slow approach, but very effective.
Wow,
if you can get that kill, but he can't quite get it.
Right onto Navi at the beginning. Actually, Mako, or Janus rather, going to get knocked off by Take This. Take This taking him with the charge. Attune, meanwhile, has that tack visor. Going to go ahead and pop it right away into the sound barrier of LW Blue. They get caught up in the Graviton surge, though. Attune looks like he's going to survive it, though. And LW Blue fighting back. They've got a little bit of control percent built. Right now, going after Lagerman is Sabiolbi. Earthshatter comes in from the Afreeca Red side. Take This taking some damage, but yeah, not enough because it was on the outside of the shield. Sabiolbi not able to find the kills. It looks like Afreeca Red will defend once again.
Well, that was really cute at first, but credit to Take This for just removing Janus from the point there, because you're going to respawn faster anyway. So if the situation's looking dire and you can trade Reinhardt for Reinhardt like that, it just opens up the rest of the composition. And remember, they didn't have one person because, again, Sabiolbi was on the flank. So if everybody else is up on that top high ground, if they don't have a Reinhardt shield anymore, you'll respawn faster to try and reclaim the point, and you're going to have them at advantage on the high ground too. So interesting play from Afreeca Red, but they're holding pretty strong.
Flower's going to go ahead and use the Reaper now.
And Tidala over on the Tracer.
Sabiolbi gets out back. Ooh, Ty Dollar goes down. Good start. That's going to be a lot of damage for that Take This is going to take. Afreeca Red going to pop the sound barrier right away. Want to try to hold this point as long as they can. Janus ready to go, though. There's the Earthshatter.
Nice
really
Earthshatter.
nice. Was not blocked. They're going to charge. He's going to get two with the charge. Another one. Tidala does go down in the back somehow, some way. Sabiolbi gets the health pack again. And now,
Get some time on this point.
That's right. Control meter building up. LW Blue with a chance to end it right here, right now.
Nice
Tack visor was popped by Attune, but no kills aside from the mech.
Wow, some near deaths there. Flower finally going to go down. Luna did a lot of work, and Tidala now attempting to assassinate him in that backline so he can't get the free hills. And it looks like they are going to push LW Blue back again. Still over 2.5 minutes remaining, though.
People got low enough. Only one tick on the control meter taken in the end by LW Blue.
Threw a lot at that.
They did.
As well. So Lagerman switches over to the Roadhog, which prompts Flower to go on the Reaper. So attempting to bust through this big tank line. And he's going to start lurking on this high ground and see if he can eventually make his way over closer to the point. Sabiolbi again using that ledge.
Pulse bomb, I think he stuck him. Yeah, Navi got stuck there. Sabiolbi with a good start. And out of the way. There's a big Earthshatter, though. Didn't claim a whole lot of victims, though. Mako with the kill on to Take This. Sabiolbi going crazy, man. And that's a nice nano boost as well. Janus just keeping everyone occupied, and that is going to be that. GG.
Wow,
And
well
LW
done.
Blue will take the 3-0.
Really well done by LW Blue, and especially Janus. You could see how inexperienced Afreeca Red is playing with that Reinhardt, because the Earthshatter War and the Reinhardt mind games were completely won by Janus at the end there.
Oh, yeah.
He blocked the Earthshatter, then got the Earthshatter of his own. Also, you could see take this on that last push, even though it was a failure for LW Blue. He was swinging away, not respecting the Shatter, and that led to that big Shatter on 3. So Janus really very much outmatching his rival on that Reinhardt pick.
And that is going to be the end of the season for Afreeca Red as well. Rough season for them. They will be trying to fight their way back into the tournament. Out of relegations, it looks like.
Yeah, this means as well, though, that we have LW Blue finishing at 2-1 at +3 map score, which currently puts them in second place. Now, the only world where it's not Lunatic High and LW